This following review is brought to you by BigBadToyStore.com. If you like what you see in the video, please check out the link in the description below. Hey guys, today I will be reviewing the Nendoroid series number 284 Iron Man Mark 7 Heroes Edition by the Good Smile Company. This is a licensed product under Marvel, so you'll see some Marvel stuff and of course Avengers throughout the box here. The Good Smile Company is known for making other action figures such as Figma and a couple other things, but Nendoroid is their chibi version, I guess you can say, of characters, and it's very popular. A lot of people are really into them, mostly the girls, but I don't want to put this on a one-sex-sided thing. So I thought this guy was completely adorable. I had to pick him up. So first I'll take a look at the boxing here, or packaging, whatever. You can tell that there's some shiny holographic like design to it. It's very much like Iron Man's armor, so you got some reds, golds, and I don't know what this says along here, but that's Japanese. You got some pictures of him on this side here. You can tell Nendoroid, same stuff that's on the front, just different poses. All the things that you can do with him in the back. Some product information, I'm guessing. So another side picture. That's your top side, and then that's your bottom side. So very cool, very nice packaging, and often I like to show packaging for figures that I'm reviewing if it's really nice, and this is really nice packaging. So let's get this guy open and check him out. Okay, and we're back again, and just a quick little thing I wanted to point out here is I know he's still in his tray, but I wanted to show you guys that it does have a full tray full of accessories. But one of the things that I think is really cool that a lot of the times Good Smile will do with their figures is they'll throw in a little neat little backdrop, and you don't have to use this, it's not really part of it, but this was on the inside of the box, and I just thought it looked really nice. It looks like there's a big explosion in the city, and you can see there's a Stark Tower picture in the background. So these are the contents of the box. There's a little instruction pamphlet on how to do what with him. Nothing on the back, just stuff on the front. And then his tray. So I'm gonna get him out of the tray. So first off, I'm gonna show you guys the accessories. He comes with this little city base where, as you can tell, all the buildings are different. They're very nicely sculpted, fit well with the theme of this figure. And then he comes with this very tiny Stark Tower. You can see it says Stark right there in blue, and it's painted, and that will plug in right here. Red thing on the bottom, not a big deal. So it looks like a little city with a giant Stark Tower. And then here is your parts for creating the flight stand. And then this is a suction cup, which I don't recommend using. It does stick to things like windows and tables, and it sticks very well because it's very hefty. It's a thick rubbery plastic, but I don't recommend using it just because it will eventually come off and your figure may fall to the floor. So I will build this stand and we will look at Iron Man. So there are a couple of different stands that you can build from these parts. There's a clamp here that you can use. There's an arm with a center, well, not center, but like a third of the way through it. There's a bend, and then there's two pins that can plug in. This piece is mainly for the suction cup, and here's a shorter piece here. So you can either use this clear stand if you want and plug it in. I'm not sure exactly where it goes, but you can plug it in there, or you could plug it into the back of the base, like so. So moving on to the little billionaire playboy himself, here is Nendoroid Iron Man. Very, very nice looking figure. Just to show you guys now and get it out of the way, he stands about 3.5 inches tall. And I use the word stands very lightly. He is top heavy because of his head. It's not a big deal, it's not like it's super heavy, but he can easily fall over, especially on a slippery surface like this. So, as you can see, he's very tiny, fits in my hand. Super, super tiny. But he is very nice and very detailed and painted very well. He's molded in a red plastic, then painted with this metallic red, metallic gold on the mask and accents, metallic silver, which for some reason he has them like behind his knees, and when you bend the knee you can see the metallic silver in there. I don't know if it's unpainted or if it's supposed to be like that. And then he has this really, really nice pearl paint that is on his arc reactor right there. It's probably hard to see, and it probably doesn't do much justice. It might look just white, but he does have that on his arc, on his eyes and on the repulsors. Not on the bottom of the feet because there's plugs for accessories. Ooh. And then he does have some black paint apps around the eyes and around the mouth, I guess, area you would call that. So very nicely painted, very, very nicely painted. We'll look at his accessories in a second. I'm trying to get him back into focus. There he is. Okay, so Iron Man, little Iron Man, comes with a bunch of little accessories. He has these hands that he's packaged with. These little open kind of repulsing hands or posing hands. I'll just set him back for a second so we can look at all the hands. He also has these slightly more open hands, and I'll show you really quick the difference. They don't look very different, but they are. These hands are more open. These hands are more straight. Of course, there's two of each. There's a little tiny fist. Repulsor hands with the blast already casted in it. It's a clear yellow, and then paint it down at the bottom. And then these are the more open repulsor hands. Same deal. I believe they're all the same hands, just with the blast on it. Here's the jetpack part. This plugs onto his back. And then here are the feet repulsors, or whatever you want to call them, thrusters, foot thrusters. So lots of little parts for him that you can plug into his hands, and they plug in just like this. There's a little thing right there, and it goes in. So one of his features you saw when I dropped them was that you can take his mask off, which is really cool, and there's a little tiny little Tony Stark in there, little goatee and everything. A lot of nice water slides or whatever they use on these for the beard, the eyebrows, the eyes, and then a little bit of accents here and there. And his mask does have a feature where this little magnet right here, that is actually a pad. There's a magnet underneath it. This is so it doesn't scratch up your figure. You just put it on top. It's very, very light. It's not super strong, and it's just like that. So very cool, and you can move it around if it's not straight. Very, very cool. His mask or helmet does come off, there's a part right here where you unpeg it, and then you can unpeg it from here. And then to get the full helmet off, which I'm not gonna do just because I don't have another Nendoroid to switch out the faces, is you have to pull one of these off of either side, and they're very hard to get off. They're not glued, but they're in there very, very tight. So you would have to pull that off and then swap the face out if you really, really wanted to. Okay, so as far as articulation goes, he has an up and down movement on his head, and he can 360 it if you really wanted him to. To get more range really quick, for instance, to get him into like a flight pose or something, because he only has that much of a head lift, you would have to pull the head out off the peg, and the peg is just a straight peg, and then there's a post or a socket in there, I guess you can say, and you would barely put it on and just lift up. You could probably get more than that out of it, but that's just a demonstration. And these Good Smile joints are kind of like Revoltech joints. They have a smiley face on them though, and they don't ratchet, so they're very similar to the joints if you know how to use those. He has these shoulder joints where they're on an angle, so the swivel is like this, and they do go up pretty high. He has rotation at the bicep there. He has a single jointed elbow, which works for him. Rotation at the wrist. Then he has this diaphragm joint right here, kind of like on the Marvel Legends. Doesn't do really anything but swivel. It can go forward and back, but it doesn't stay. Then he has these, let's move the arm out of the way. He has these leg joints that can go forward and back very, very slightly. And if you want to do like what I said with the neck joint, if you want to have them go out, you'd have to take the leg off, rotate the joint, and then go from there. So these are all meant to come apart, so don't be afraid to pull them apart. So here we have a single jointed knee. Goes pretty far, I mean far enough that you'll need for this little guy. And then he has ball jointed feet. And like I was saying, I believe that all Nendoroids are able to be swapped with parts. So like I was saying with the head earlier, you can take the head off, put another one on, or take the face plate or the face in here off and put another one on if you want to. I don't have another Nendoroid though to demonstrate that. So overall, this is a really nice little figure. I'm enjoying it, enjoying taking, you know, funny, cute little pictures with him. But I do run into problems here and there. For instance, throughout this review, I don't know if you caught it, he has this problem where he keeps falling apart here. I think it's because of the joint in here isn't tight enough to keep the ball in there. So it just kind of sits. It's very easy to take out. And also his faceplate, I keep wanting to say faceplate, but not this, because it is kind of like a faceplate. The face in here does not stay connected to the back of the head, so it's very loose and comes off often. But all I have to do is that, but then it's very easy to undo it. So there's little Iron Man, and I'll throw him on the stand really quick with his accessories so you guys can see him one last time. Alright, so there he is, all propped up on a stage with his little accessories and everything. And this is probably how I'm going to have him displayed on my desk. So overall, this figure, I really enjoyed it. Though he does fall apart at the joints, but I mean, he's meant to. It's just kind of frustrating when taking pictures. But other than that, this is a really cool figure, and I highly recommend it for those who are trying to dabble into different types of action figures, because that's what I did here, and I came out with a winner. I really do like this figure. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to watch my video, and don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share, thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, have a good one.